and welcome to our English news bulletin broadcast to you from Canal, Algérie. First, to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives on Monday Sheikh Abdullah Nasser Sabah Al Ahmed Al Sabah, member of the Kuwaiti princely family and owner of the Kuwait holding company. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Sunday a meeting of the Council of Ministers where he ordered the government to ban the export of all consumer products imported by Algeria. The Sipsa Filaha is back after a 2-year absence due to COVID-19. The exhibition brings together 350 exhibitors, including 150 foreigners at the Palais des Expositions. And we end our news in the south of the country, where the province of Janet chaired the second edition of the National Kite Festival. Good evening. Those were today's top stories. First, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Monday Sheikh Abdullah Nasser Sabah Al Ahmed Al Sabah, member of the Kuwaiti princely family and owner of the Kuwait holding company. The audience took place at the Presidency of the Republic here in Algiers in the presence of the Presidency's Cabinet Director, Abdelaziz Khallaf, as well as the Minister of Finance, Abdurrahman Rawiya. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Sunday a meeting of the Council of Ministers where he ordered the government to ban the export of all consumer products imported by Algeria, and the Minister of Justice is responsible for drafting a law criminalizing this act. In the agenda of the Council, investment and fishing were also discussed. More the insight with Ines Kellou.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, thanked the Secretary General of the Arab League and the Ministerial Council for accepting Algeria's proposal to hold the 31st Arab Summit on the 1st of November, at the date of the outbreak of the glorious National Revolution War, with all its symbolism and the presence of the Arab nation at its side. According to the periodic report of the Mediator of the Republic on the development of the situation of the pending investment projects, 2,420 additional jobs have been created since the beginning of the operation of the removal of obstacles on the investment projects, bringing the number of created jobs to more than 30,100. During this meeting, several instructions were given by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, in particular in the industry sector, where the President insisted on the promulgation of a new law reviewed from top to bottom for the promotion of the investment, based among others on the consecration of the principle of the freedom of investment and initiative, the simplification of the procedures in the treatment of files, and the reinforcement of the prerogatives of the single counter in the treatment of files. Concerning the project of amendment of the Code of Civil and Administrative Procedure, Abdelmajid Tebboune has emphasized the need to introduce a measure where the commercial courts will be the only ones empowered to deal with the commercial disputes. In the fisheries and aquaculture sector, it was decided to create interprofessional cooperatives to grant facilitations to encourage small fishing trades, to settle the problem of the management of fishing ports, and to merge the subsidiaries of the Algerian National Navigation Company by directing it towards the reinforcement of the national maritime fleet by the acquisition of new ships. The President of the Republic will close this meeting by giving other instructions relating to the agriculture and trade sector by prohibiting the export of consumer products not produced locally, such as sugar, pasta, oil, semolina, and all wheat derivatives, instructing the Minister of Justice to prepare a draft law penalizing this type of imported products. The government should also ban the import of frozen meat and encourage the consumption of local meat, and encourage farmers who supply the state's stock of durum wheat, millet and pulses, with support in form of loans and fertilizers.
The Sipsa Filaha is back after a 2-year absence due to COVID-19. The exhibition brings together 350 exhibitors, including 150 foreigners at the Palais des Expositions. In its 20th edition, the event is focusing on intelligence and innovation, notably through the startups present on site. Melissa Kabash has the details.
Absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Sipsa Filaha exhibition is back with its 20th edition, welcoming both visitors and exhibitors. The fair was held under the slogan of intelligence and innovative through startups. Talking about innovation, this Algerian startup created a new irrigation system for modern and dynamic agriculture in order to find solutions to the various problems encountered by farmers.
We
are a new company based in the province of Sidi Bel Abbas, and so far we've launched numerous projects for the benefit of farmers, especially during this water crisis, notably the building of a basin of 450,000 cubic meters, which is considered the largest in the region. Another innovative technique is hydroponics, which has been developed in the agricultural sector. This method consists of the use of different means as an above-ground cultivation to save water. This event was an opportunity for national and international operators to conclude several contracts and update their knowledge concerning the latest innovations in the agricultural and agri-food sectors. We are able to produce numerous goods in the agricultural sector and avoid imports. More than 20,000 visitors are expected at this event, which will allow the discovery of the latest technologies in the agricultural sector to ensure the country's food security.
The resumption of the activity of a dairy production unit in Boussaada province. It ensures the supply of the local market in milk. It only faces the problem of lack of raw material. Ines Kalou has the details.
This dairy, which has recently reopened its doors, should ensure a regular supply of milk to the region of Boussaada and the neighboring provinces, which has also generated several job opportunities. The dairy was closed because of administrative obstacles. The production was stopped, and this really affected us. Now we have resumed our activity thanks to the new measures taken by the President of the Republic. We have been granted the operating permit. I am from Boussaada province. I work in this dairy with several people from my neighborhood. The lack of raw material is a real problem that investors in the milk sector always face. We are supplied with 12,000 liters of milk per day, which is about 10% of our current production capacity. To ensure the needs of the region in milk, a challenge taken up by the employees of this dairy, who also make sure to respect the specifications. We have a laboratory and a quality control. It is important to know that the dairy respects food safety, which means we regularly do physical, chemical, and microbiological analysis. The owner of this dairy intends to expand his activity with the production of milk derivatives, including cheese and yogurt, and even whey and curdled milk. We have the means to produce butter, yogurt, and cheese, and once we have the raw materials and also the industrial land, because for the moment we are tenants, we will be able to expand our activity. Supporting and accompanying this investor will certainly make it possible to meet the needs of the local market for milk and its derivatives, and no longer have to resort to imports.
In anticipation of the upcoming match between Algeria and Cameroon, which will take place in March 26th as part of the qualifying playoffs of the 2022 World Cup, and in order to ensure the support of the fans of our national football team, it was decided to reduce the price of the trip fees to 50,000 instead of 85,000 dinars. Following this decision, the supporters who have already purchased their tickets for 85,000 will be refunded. It is worth recalling that the last deadline for the ticket sale operation is set for Tuesday, March 15th. The President of the Council of the Nation, or Upper House of Parliament, Salah Goujil, chaired on Monday the meeting of the Committee on Legal Affairs, Administrative Affairs, Human Rights, Local Organization, Urban Planning and Regional Division, extended to members of the Council Bureau, presidents of parliamentary groups and representatives of political parties in the Council. On this occasion, Salah Goujil emphasized the importance of coordination, cooperation and complementarity between the legislative and executive bodies so as to serve the general interest and promote the culture of the state, which separates the powers and consolidates the foundations of the building of a new Algeria, an Algeria that allows all its citizens to contribute to the national renewal led by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and this while respecting the November referendum in order to preserve the sovereignty of the national political decision by supporting it via a real economic independence. The President of the Council of the Nation called the members of the Commission as well as the members of the Council to work together by uniting under the leadership of the President of the Republic while closing ranks and strengthening the internal front to face the current challenges. Salah Goujil added that our country must keep its head high and its word heard, and above all reflect the true image of non-alignment, an important movement of which Algeria is a founding country. After Belgrade, this organization expanded to 77 countries, but considering the current global situation, it is obvious that all countries are aligned except Algeria, and it is the position that the country wants to keep after all the changes, concluded the President of the Upper House of Parliament. The 47th meeting of the Executive Committee of the Union of the Assembly of Member States of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation ended on Monday at the International Conference Center here in Algiers. In his speech, the President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, highlighted the commitment to reactivate and achieve the objectives and principles of the Union, which aim at achieving peace, democracy and stability in the Muslim world and laying the foundations for the Muslim nation to participate in building a secure, stable and developed world. During his speech, the President of the National People's Assembly put forward the position of the member states towards the main issues that interest the Muslim nation, at their heart the Palestinian cause, which will be given justice solely by the creation of an independent Palestinian state. Brahim Boughali expressed his pride in the choice of Algeria to host the 17th Congress of the Union, reiterating that it will spare no effort to make a success out of this exceptional event and eventually promote cooperation between member countries. And on the sidelines of this work, the President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, received the member of the Justice and Development Party in the Grand National Assembly of Turkey, Orhan Atalay. He equally received Ibrahim Rezai, member of the Consultative Council of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The President of the National People's Assembly received the Secretary General of the Union of Assemblies of the Islamic Cooperation Member States, Mohammed Al-Quraishi Nayas. The talks focused on the prospects of consolidating the relations of friendship, solidarity and cooperation between the member states. On this occasion, they expressed their thanks for the welcome they have received in Algeria. The President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, also met with the heads of the Omani and Lebanese delegations, respectively Ahmed Ben Ali Rais and Qasim Hashim, who took part in the meeting of the Executive Committee of the Parliamentary Union of Member States of the Organization of the Islamic Conference. In cooperation, Prime Minister Ayman Ben Abdurrahman received Jetsko Henschel, the regional director of the World Bank in the Maghreb region, and Malta, who is on a working visit to Algeria. The meeting was an opportunity to discuss the reality of the reforms and the positive results obtained. The meeting also discussed the prospects for cooperation between Algeria and the World Bank, particularly in the area of exchange of experiences and technical assistance in the priority sectors of the government's work program for the implementation of the presidential program. The meeting took part in the presence of Finance Minister Abderrahman Rawia. The Minister of Finance, Abderrahman Rawia, met on Monday with the President of Camco Invest Company, Abdullah Nasser Al-Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah, who is on a visit to Algeria. During this meeting, the two parties discussed the investment opportunities, especially in the insurance and financial sectors, as well as the possibilities of modernizing the stock exchange, in addition to the organization of the stock exchange operations. Following a search warrant issued by the competent prosecutor's office, it was proceeded to the seizure of goods at the level of warehouses located in the municipalities of Rghaya, Ouled Fayet, Dar el Baida, and Stawali, as well as a warehouse in the province of Bashar, belonging to the former businessman Mahyiddin Tahkout. These goods were hidden by family members and relatives of the former businessman and were not declared to the court. According to the General Directorate of the National Security, the search resulted in the seizure of 507 vehicles, including 267 luxury vehicles, 84 trucks, jet skis, pleasure boats, and luxury motorcycles. More than 800 boxes of car parts, in addition to 30 containers with 63 new bus engines. The overall value of the goods which were seized amounts to nearly 1,000 billion cents. The National Security Directorate added that 24 suspects are involved in this case, including family members of Mahyiddin Tahkout, who were presented to the competent prosecutor's office for concealment of criminal profits from crimes of corruption and money laundering. In another development, the Geneva Group for the Promotion and Protection of Human Rights in Western Sahara called for the immediate release of the Sahrawi human rights activist Yahya Mohammed Al-Hafid Aiza, detained in Morocco for 14 years. The longest-serving Sahrawi political prisoner was arrested and tried by the Makhzen for his humanitarian activities and confessed under torture, according to findings of the UN Working Group investigating the case. Faced with repression by the Makhzen authorities and the failure to meet their social professional demands, teachers in Morocco have decided to renew their protests by calling for a week of anger starting on Monday and for strikes throughout the month of March. They are also denouncing the unjust sentencing of 45 contract teachers during the last protests. Military operations continue along the Wall of Shame in Western Sahara. The Sahrawi Liberation Army carried out new attacks on Sunday against positions of the Moroccan occupation forces in the Farisia sector, inflicting considerable amount and human and material losses. And moving on to the south of the country, where the province of Janet chaired the second edition of the National Kite Festival. This event welcomed numerous visitors and children from the four corners of the country. Melissa Kabash has the details.
The sky of Janet province has been decorated with a couple hundreds of kites on the occasion of the National Kite Festival. The southern province welcomed a large number of citizens, including children, from the four corners of the country to celebrate this event in a joyful atmosphere. This is a very good initiative for the inhabitants of the region. I came from Sogaras and my friend is from Batna. We are having so much fun here. I live in Janet and I came here with my family to enjoy this event. And so far, I am very happy. And I hope that this isn't the last time they organize this festival. Before enjoying this fun activity, a learning session is imposed. First of all, I teach them how to build a kite, then how to make it fly. Watching children have fun means the world to me. A festival atmosphere prevailed in the region during the second successful edition of the event. The organizers hope that this festival became an international one from all over. I've been teaching kite for adults and children for a long time. I had the opportunity this year to be at this event. Kite flying isn't only for children, but for adults as well, to have fun and enjoy this activity. Algeria is an international destination as well as Janet, which contributes directly to the promotion of tourism. The next edition of this festival is programmed for December 2022 in Timimun province, in the presence of numerous professional kite flyers aiming to promote this activity.
And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us.